My name is Rutendo Nyatsine, and I'm the founder and chairperson of the United African Association and the Zim Women Association in Northampton. I'm really grateful and so feel privileged to have been involved in the initiative of change projects, because it has really empowered me and it has given me a lot of growth in my personality. And we work with women a lot and young people. The women and the young people that we work with, most of them are refugees and asylum seekers. And with them, there's always a big issue of language and also confidence, because when people come to a different country, somehow it knocks off their confidence, and end of the day they don't get to be participating fully in the world, really, I can say, and in the community that they are around. So this project has allowed us to do a lot of things about sustainable livelihood, whereby most of our people who are involved were actually empowered to, first of all, take care of their own health and well-being. So through these events, we are so proud to say we've managed to build confidence of the refugees and asylum seekers to be involved in physical activities which are provided and in and around their communities, actually provided by the council and by the government. We've also actually came up with our own physical activities, which are things that people used to do back home or that they grew up doing, games and other sporting activities which they cannot find in and around their community. So that's a big plus, really, because once you build your health and your well-being, you are able to then think properly, think straightforward, and you build your confidence and you are healthy. Touching on the well-being, I know well-being is a big covers a big area of our life, and it's just not that our health in general, which involves the GP. Well, actually, it was a big issue as well, because most refugees and asylum seekers don't get to go and see the GPs at early stages, which affects their life as well. So I'm so grateful for this program, because we've managed to be able to encourage people and to go and see the GPs at an early stages, which is a big plus. Now, without your own well-being, it's difficult to even do anything or even to help other people. Now, after the sustainable livelihood, which I can go on and on and on talking about, we then started building ourselves up to participation in social entrepreneurship, which most of our people from our community is something that they are very passionate about, but have no idea on how to go about it. So going through the projects that we did with the initiative of change, it managed to allow most of us to be trained. We went through a lot of training, education, where we did a lot of dialogue facilitation for communities in cohesion, and we also did a lot of ethical leadership trainings. So through that, once you get trained to be a leader, you are able to start your own business as well. So this is where most of the people then started being interested in entrepreneurship. So when we started talking about entrepreneurship issues, we also actually realized that there's a lot of people who want to start things that most of them are actually not in this country, but it's something that if we are to share or start a business of that nature in this country, to actually help economically and also encouraging cultural cohesion as well. things like food, which is the most tasty thing that one can want to have in their life. So we actually have 2 ladies who have come up with their food cafe, which they do every Friday, and they actually have to do like moving around with meals in the community, and the meals that they are preparing are tasty meals from Africa. They are actually doing very well, and people from this country are also enjoying those meals. And amazingly as well, most of the women who didn't have confidence or didn't have enough information or didn't know how the law goes about in this country on how to start businesses, because it's totally different from where we come from. It's easier here. There's a lot of law and rules that people have got to follow. So through these projects, we managed to actually dig more and find out how to go about entrepreneurship when we are in this country, which also we managed to go through a lot of training as well with the Initiative of Change project. In our group, I can actually say we are out of a membership of 40 something. We actually have 4 ladies who have started their own businesses, and I'm one of them, and I am so grateful and happy to say I managed to get confidence and information to start my business in care. So I'm also now leading a business entrepreneurship project, which we meet every end of the month. Once a month we meet with ladies who are interested in starting some businesses in entrepreneurship. But when we are talking about this entrepreneurship, we are just not targeting women only, we are targeting everybody, especially the young people who are actually oozing with a lot of ideas on how to start businesses and being entrepreneurs. Now, I've talked about entrepreneurship and sustainable livelihood. Now we have a big issue as well in this country, however, of hate and crime, which is something which has changed our life, going through the projects that Katarina has put forward for us in Northampton. Where I come from, Northampton, hate crime is a big issue, and we have managed to come up with satellite clubs to engage young people so that they can actually be engaged and be off the streets, to come up with activities and ideas that they can do so that they are actually not involved in crime. We've actually also come up with community champions as well. So we've got young people who, when they are out there with other young people, they are also on the lookout of young people who will be who will be creating some crimes or antisocial behavior and so on. So in Northampton, our police department have actually approached us and are now working with us, and which is a big plus on us in Northampton, because through the Initiative of Change project, we've managed to partner with the police in Northampton, and we've actually had 2 sessions with them already now, and I'm hoping that that partnership is going to grow further to actually recruiting some of our young people to be in the police force. However, hate crime, I know I've touched young people a lot because they are also they get involved in crime as well. The hate crime also, hate crime sessions and workshops that we did with the Initiative of Change also managed us to be in a position to be going out to workplaces and talk about hate, because this is where we've actually discovered that some people actually think when some people do certain things, they think it's hate or discrimination, and yet it's not. Or some people do things that actually show hate or discrimination, and they are not even aware that those kind of acts are actually discrimination. And a big plus that we've had is us being allowed to walk into some places, some workplaces, and give workshops in them. So the workshops that we are actually giving, we are actually replicating exactly what the initiative of change has given us. We are replicating the project because we've got all the resources, we've been trained, we are now champions, and we are just using exactly what they call them, actually the triangles of hate and crime. So, and it's something which actually in workplaces, most of the women that we have and young people who are at different workplaces, they are now able to identify what is hate and what is crime, and they are actually able to stand up and talk about it and actually challenge it if somebody does react in a way that they are discriminating them. So it's actually a big plus, and it's actually very empowering as well. Attending the Festival of Learning and Experience Exchange has actually opened up my mind, and it's a good experience that we actually had lots of people from different parts of the world, and we actually had guests who had flown in to share their experiences. What I've actually really learned is that we are all human beings, and what we go through is actually the same thing that goes through each and every person in the world. Because sometimes if you are in a situation where, especially you're a refugee or an asylum seeker, you tend to sometimes think it's your own problem. But coming to this festival, we've actually concluded that it's actually everybody's problem, it's everybody's issue, just like with the issues that we used to have for women from one community. We actually thought that it's actually an issue of a small cluster. But attending this festival has actually opened up my eyes to actually realize that it's actually a worldwide thing. But unfortunately, we have situations that some people are in a difficult situation and are in a situation which they are actually in an enclosed situation that they can't explore themselves, and they can't express themselves, or they can't do things the way they would appreciate to do, which will actually help the world to be a better place to be. And also actually the government and the society will actually gain a lot from these people. So this seminar, the festival, has actually showed me that people need to be given safe places, a safe environment, and a listening ear, really. And once people are in a safe environment and at a place where they feel comfortable and free to express themselves, they will be able to be very productive. And it will be a better world, really, to be very honest. I'm really looking forward to the conclusion of today. I've networked, I've met high people, I've actually rubbed shoulders with people who are in the international level, which is actually, I'm actually oozing with information, and I am eager to go out there and do more than what I have been doing. I've been thinking, I've done a lot, but from this seminar I actually see that I still have a lot to do, and I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm going to be able to be imparting the knowledge that I've gained today to the other people. And when I go back, definitely our organization is going to grow bigger, especially with the networking and the contacts that I've had today. And I'm actually really looking forward to more training, further training, and I hope I'll be able to participate in each and every training that is going to be available, because this is just an amazing thing to happen to any single person. And I hope out there, if there's people who are out there who are struggling with anything, this project and organization initiative of change is the place to be, because there is no race, color, or anybody or anything that can stop you to be where you are or to be part of the initiative of a change. Within our organization, we also have projects that we do in Africa back home. We've learned a lot from initiative of change projects and workshops, and what we learned, we've applied it in this country, and we would like to take that education and information back home where we came from. So we actually have projects that are going on in East Africa, North Africa, and Southern Africa. We have 3 countries. We've been to 3 countries already. What we do is we set up small projects for women, young people, and men as well. So when these projects are started, we actually also implement the same procedure and same aims and objectives of the initiative of change. The only big issue that we have obviously is funding those projects, but what we have done is we have actually gone out there and not tried to rely on funding, but to try and educate people to use the resources which are around them. And back home in Africa, we all have land. There's lots of land out there. So what we are doing is we are actually sustaining the projects through agriculture. So what we are doing is we are teaching them to use a small space of land to actually produce more. And that one is actually going on very well. So through that, they can actually start doing other projects like sewing, carpentry, and any other things that they can do using the resources around them. But actually the most important thing that we are doing with them is the agriculture bit of it and animal husbandry. And when we do all those things, we are actually very particular about the climate change as well, because which is something that initiative of change has also touched when we're doing workshops with them. So now when we go back with the information and knowledge that we have, we are actually imparting that education to other people who are back home as well. So we are we are proud to say our organization is actually start doing things out there with people who are back home. In some countries, we actually have to go to refugee camps and try to give people hope, because people, if someone is a refugee and they are in a camp, sometimes they tend not to be productive. So when we come in with the information and education to use the resources which are around them, and we bring in few things as well to them, if we do get some funding to take few things to them, we do that, and they are becoming productive, and they are also gaining new skills as well. So through doing that, we've actually given them hope. So in future, if their situation changes, they have a skill and they have somewhere to start, and they can also carry on and spread the word.